everyone, what's up? It's Valerian, aka 8-Bit Mom for Let's Simmer Down With. Sorry about the lack of videos over the summer. We all had a busy one. I'm sure it's the same for you, but I'm gonna make it up to you guys by having the most awesomest guest on the show. Some of you know her as Alexis. Most of you will know her from the girl that manages SimsVIP. So hey, Alexis, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Oh, people are going to be so happy about hearing about what you do and the difference between Alexis and SimsVIP, because some people apparently don't know that there is a difference between you.
No, there's a difference. and just to clear the air, this is Alexis talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not anyone else.
No.
It's not SimsVIP.
No.
So yeah, thanks again for sitting down with me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So we're gonna start this interview with the same question I ask everyone. For the people who don't know who you are, tell me a little bit about you. Who is Alexis, and what's the difference between you and SimsVIP?
All right. Well, my name is Alexis. I was born and raised in Chicago, and I currently live in Florida. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm all that interesting, but I have 8 cats. I love to run. I love every kind of cat. No, it's that eHarmony video. Every time I say I have cats, I can't.
I love that video.
My head. So, all right. Well, yeah, born and raised Chicago, live in Florida. I run SimsVIP.com. I also work full time. I run my own business here in Chicago, and we're expanding out into Tampa, just to name at least one other place for now. And yeah, basically I work all day, all night, and sometimes I go out and have a little fun.
Wow, so you're a very busy person.
Yeah, I like to travel a lot too, so I'm always back and forth to Chicago, so that's mostly where I'm back and forth to. Other than that, I like to go different places around the country. I visit friends in other states, and so for the most part, I'm pretty. I don't know what to call myself. I guess I'm pretty nice. I'm nice to people.
You're an explorer, an explorer.
Yeah, Alexis the explorer.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I like to do a lot of different things, and just, I don't know, to name a few, Sims is obviously a good chunk of my life. And traveling probably takes up the rest of it. So when I'm not working, I'm probably driving somewhere.
Wow, so you drive all the way from Chicago to Florida.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be staying around for a while, yeah, we bring our car, and well, I'm with my fiance down in Florida, so depends. Usually he drives, I sleep. But, unless I'm coming only for like a weekend or something, I typically just, we drive here, stay a month or something. And it really depends on work and what, I need to do while I'm in Chicago or Florida at the time. So, yeah, basically.
That's insane. How long does it take to drive there?
It's about 22 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. In the beginning, the first time I thought to myself, I go, I'm not going to do this. I would rather get on a plane and fly 2.5 hours. Like, this is ridiculous. And then my fiance's like, no, you come with me. You're going to like it. I promise. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I did it once last year when I had gone to, get my residency and everything for Florida. And I was like, this is so much fun. I want to do it again.
Really?
It's just really cool to see all the different areas of the country on the way down. I mean, we passed through, going to Florida from Chicago, you're going to pass Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia. And like, you're really going through like different states and with different things. So
right.
Yeah, our favorite thing to do is stop in Tennessee wearing all black. And we walk into the Cracker Barrel and people look at us like we're weird or like we're from the mafia. And then, people are like, you're from Chicago. I could tell from your accent. I'm like, oh, you're from the South. I could tell from yours. So, yeah, basically it's it's really fun. I really like the road trip of it. So, I mean, I've never done a road trip before other than Florida. So
right.
It's fun. Even though I've seen it like 100 times, it's still fun.
Do you bring your 8 cats along or?
No.
Okay. Because I was going to say
8 cats. 4 of them live in Chicago with my parents, and then the other 4 are at our office in Chicago. Yeah, and we saved the ones. The ones at the office, we saved them from being put down or trapped and like never, sitting in a cage their whole life or something. So, and then all my cats at home are from the office as well. Because I don't know, this is like back like 14, 15 years ago. We had like an influx of like cats.
Stray cats?
They were everywhere. Stray cats. And they were everywhere around our like our loading docks and stuff like this. And like, it got to the point where I was like, oh my God, there's too many cats around here. Like, I don't want to see them run over by a truck, And we worked with Paws in Chicago to try to get a lot of the younger ones. They were adopted out, but for the most part, whatever was left over, we took home.
Right.
So yeah, I have 4 cats at home that are from there, but I had them from babies, so they were very small.
Oh.
And they were too cute. I love kittens. So and now they're big fatties and they're enjoying life. Otherwise, they probably would have not lived too long down there.
No. Aww. Karma is gonna come back at you and bring you something very good. 8 times.
Yes. 8 times.
So we talked a little bit about you. Now, about the Sims VIP. Can you tell the difference between you and the Sims VIP? One's a person, the other one is what?
Okay, well, I'm Alexis, obviously. I'm human. I'm a person. I have emotions.
No.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. And, well, Sims VIP is basically my alter ego, if you will. It's like my online me. I don't know if it doesn't necessarily represent me. But obviously the voice behind the posts and everything that we do on the website is basically an alter ego of mine. So I wouldn't really talk that, if I'm going up to somebody, I wouldn't be like, so today Electronic Arts announced, so I wouldn't necessarily talk like that to somebody in real life, but it's like my alter ego. That's the only way to explain it. It's like I have like a different me online, and people know me and associate me with a brand, which is like a brand, whatever, Sims VIP, they associate me with that. So yeah, there's a big difference between who I am and who the site is. The site is basically like there to help and inform people and bring out the latest news, and I'm just the one typing everything. So that's the way I look at it. I'm very dedicated to the website, so I guess you could say a little bit of me is in there. The style of the website, the color scheme, stuff like that. That's all me, because when I set that stuff up with all my team, they love me when we're doing new projects, because I'm like, I don't like this, I don't like that, change this, change that. And so yeah, I guess a little bit of me is there in the site, especially with the way that I like to update with all the news, and I do guides and I do all this stuff. So a little bit of me's in the website, but we are, I'm just associated with a name, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the people who don't know, can you tell me a little bit about what Sims VIP is about? So there's news, and what else?
All right. So Sims VIP is basically a news outlet for The Sims. So if you want to check out all the latest stuff, it could be anything from a sale for the game to a brand new announcement. Everything and anything that there is to talk about the Sims series, all of them, doesn't matter what it is. Even though we're on the 4th installment, I still cover anything that would come out for the previous series.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's basically A to Z news. Anything you need is there. Okay. I try to do my best to keep up with it. With the news is more important to be kept up with to me than some of the other projects I've taken on the site, like guides, things like that. Like I said, I am a person, so it's very hard for me sometimes to be able to work all day, because being self-employed, I have hours that no normal people would usually imagine, working from like 9 a.m. till midnight, and people would be like, are you crazy? But yeah, that's just what I have to do sometimes. But I take a break here and there to do extra activities for Sims VIP. But yeah, basically, if it wasn't for the fact that I was able to be online all day because I'm self-employed, because who's going to fire me? I probably wouldn't have as much updates and stuff rolling off the site. because I wouldn't have any time if I was working for somebody else. So
Right.
yeah, that's SimsVIP is what I want it to be, is basically the go-to place for all your news on The Sims. So anything that could have possibly come out, as little or big, it's there.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thanks for that explanation. So back to you. How did you get into The Sims? What made you play the first game and become what you have created today?
Whew. Okay, so this is a funny story. I actually went into a Best Buy with my mom 15 years ago. I think it was close to the holidays, if I remember correctly. And my birthday's on December 16th, so like a week later is Christmas. And I was like, hey, Mom, look at this game. Can you buy it for me? Because, like, you know, my birthday is coming up. And then, you know, so she was like looking at it and inspecting the box. And she was like, I don't know. What is this? What is this? You know, why are you playing with, you know, what do you want to play with people for? And because it was basically like a foreign concept, everything that we had back in those days, basically.
Yeah.
God, 15 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, we had AOL chat and like Oregon Trail. So, you know, and maybe like a number game or something. I mean, we had like nothing. Maybe Nintendo, stuff like that. But I this is when computers started to become like a cool thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I want a new game for my computer. And I was just, and my mom's like, all right, well, I don't know. I don't really like what it looks like, but she bought it for me anyways.
Cool.
So,
thanks, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. And it's funny because today she's like, It's, you know, sometimes, you know, a couple of years ago, was a couple of years ago, I found the original receipt for my game inside, tucked away in the cover, in the case.
That's insane. That must be a
And I had showed it to her, and I'm like, you see this? I'm like, this is what started my obsession. And she's like, wow, you kept that all these years. It was like, it was faded too, but you can barely see it. But I guess keeping it in the cover helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta find that. I don't know what I did with it. It's somewhere. I took a picture of it though. I'll find that too. But yeah,
put it up on Twitter.
Yeah, I definitely. It all started from there and slowly progressed. I mean, obviously all I did was play all the time up until, you know, 5 years ago when I started, you know, SimsVIP and all that on the Facebook and everything else. So yeah, I mean, I've basically come from just like a regular player who did nothing. You know, Sims 1, I just played, did whatever I want. And then Sims 2, I wasn't as active. I, you know, created my little profile to pretend like I'm cool. But I never really was active in the community at all. I just, you know, kept up with the news and anything I saw from the official channel. So I like, you know, on their website, stuff like that. I never really, you know, thought to look at websites or forums or stuff like that. So yeah, then slowly it turned into like an obsession to the point where I kind of wanted to do something for the community and you know, create an outlet for people to talk and discuss and maybe keep, you know, eventually keep up to date with all the news. And that's where we are today.
Nice. And then you created SimsVIP. And when did you decide to make the SimsVIP a place where the community could reach out?
All right. Well, SimsVIP originally started as the Sims 3 featured members on Facebook. So we were basically a Facebook page.
Right.
And with the amount of people that were on the official Facebook page, there's millions of fans. It was really hard for a lot of us who were always talking to each other to, you know, keep in touch and maybe, you know, keep up with all the comments. So what we eventually did was I moved over to Facebook and created my own page.
Right.
And I knew one or two of the people that I used to talk to there all the time. And then slowly we migrated over. And before I knew it, I had like 4,000 likes. And I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy. But we all got along very well. And it was like literally the more active members that wanted to communicate a little bit more and have somewhere other than the official Sims 3 forums. So we wanted somewhere to discuss and have like a little own private, you know, thing. Obviously back then there was no group, so you couldn't do the stuff like that.
Oh, right.
And well, eventually, it started from, you know, I used to do giveaways. I would post news, just random stuff. Maybe I would post things that I found on the internet or on the website. And slowly and surely, I kind of like got into this thing where I wanted to always keep up with the news, and I wanted to make sure that my page was always updated and knew the latest and the greatest. So I wanted to start managing the Facebook page a little better. And obviously Facebook is always there to, put a new wall up in front of you when you're trying to expand your page.
Right.
So I eventually turned to forums.
Oh.
So in late 2010, probably late summer, early fall or something like that, I opened up SimsVIP forums, and it was simsvip.com/forums. So it went from Facebook page to a forums where we all got to talk. We still were active on the Facebook page. It's still active today. But yeah, so it went from Facebook forums and to where we are today. Basically, it was getting really hard for me to manage the Facebook page with the way I wanted to do it. So I figured the only way to do it is to start my own website, which was pretty funny because I honestly thought all you do is buy a domain and your website's there and like you visualize it and it shows up. No joke.
In your dreams.
Yeah.
It's not really
little did I know there was a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
And I was just Googling things. How do I do this? How do I do that? I installed forums all by myself. I had the help of a friend who knew how to direct the server name and stuff like that so that I would actually have a live site.
Nice.
But the actual forum platform, all that, it was a free platform, but I did it all myself. I tweaked it. I did things. So, yeah, I mean, I was sitting one day and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start something else, Facebook. So I was sitting around and I don't know if I saw something or if it was on TV. I don't know. Something when I was looking for a domain said VIP. I don't know what it was exactly. And I was like, that's it. Sims VIP. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I figured Sims 3 featured members is like so long and it really doesn't mean anything but featured members because that's what we were trying to accomplish, is to try to get everybody on that page to become a featured member on the Sims 3 site. So, yeah, I mean, I said SimsVIP.com, boom, and then forums, and in March of 2011, it kind of dwindled. I don't know if it was because there were so many expansions and the Sims 3 forums were so active, but I couldn't keep up with what I wanted to do anymore on the forum, and it kind of became like a Facebook thing.
Oh, right.
So I was kind of stopped from being able to do what I do today, which is post, news articles. And that's when I decided that's it, SimsVIP.com. And I installed WordPress and used one of these default themes. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I have, if you go to that Wayback Machine and you put in SimsVIP, you could see what it used to look like. It was pretty terrible.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But so after that, we went from there, from March 2011. And it was March 16th, really, but I like to celebrate on the 17th because it's my name's day, too, because I'm Greek. So I just pretend it's on the 17th so I can celebrate in style.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's the story of Sims VIP.
Cool. So you've got this going on. You got the forums and everything. And as far as social media goes, you also have a YouTube channel. What can we find on there?
All right. Well, on my YouTube channel, I do random things. For the most part, I like to keep an archive of all the official trailers and stuff that's released from, broadcasts, stuff like that. I record them and put them up there. So I do the basic things that help out the community when they've missed something. But then I've been doing some walkthroughs and overviews of the Sims 3 store content, because originally the concept of Let's Play to me back a couple years ago was very foreign, and I was like, why would somebody watch somebody else play? Just why? I couldn't understand it. Today I completely do, because there's actually a lot of Let's Play YouTubers out there that I watch every week. So it's like, what was I thinking back then? For me, it was something a little odd, because I was like, how am I going to sit here and talk by myself in a room? And I don't even know what to do in this story. And so eventually my fiance was like, well, why don't you do something you're better at? Like maybe talk about the content. And I was like, hey, that makes sense, because I like to go through and show people how to do things. So one of the first things I did was the little mini game guides video guides for Island Paradise. I did like the mermaids and the underwater dive lots, stuff like that, where I was talking and explaining everything. Probably didn't do that great of a job because I was really nervous, but I, for the most part, just wanted to show people, here's how you do it, like point blank. And show it to them as I do it. And then I started doing the Sims 3 store content, the premium content that was coming out. And I slowly did some stuff like that. And eventually, I tried doing a Let's Play with Into the Future, and it didn't work out so well. I was basically teaching instead of talking. So I figured it was time to just delete it off, because I did like 3 of them. And I didn't want people to be like, okay, what is this? Not a Let's Play. And I don't know, I got nervous and I was like, you know what, forget it.
That'd be cool, though.
Maybe one day I'll do a Sims 4 or something, but I feel like I'd rather have like a storyline, if you will, something that would, like a legacy challenge, stuff like that. That would be something that would probably make me feel a little more comfortable about doing a Let's Play. So, but yeah, there's tons of things on our YouTube channel. You can check it out at youtube.com/the SimsVIP. I needed a the because there's another channel that some channel that hasn't been active for a couple years that already SimsVIP, but that's all right.
That sucks.
The SimsVIP.
Yeah. Oh man, that's too bad.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be super interesting though if you do. You wouldn't call it a Let's Play. It's more like Let's Teach, maybe. Or let's learn.
Basically, let's teach. Learn. Oh my God, that's it. Let's teach The Sims 4. Yeah, that's basically what it would be. That's a good one. You should coin that.
Are you kidding me? It's yours.
All right, it's mine. I take it.
But it's something you'd enjoy doing. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people would watch those, including me.
And then it all goes back to what I was trying to explain earlier, is that, I'm human too. I have work, I have things. And, sometimes I find myself wanting to do all these things, but I don't have enough time in the day. And then I get, if I overwork myself, and I get to the point where I'm just sloppy and I don't care, and I just throw everything together and bye. Yeah. So, I want to start expanding the YouTube end of it and try to do some extra things, for the community that, I know I'm good at, like teaching. Let's teach. Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, this is. Now I'm gonna go and start brainstorming ideas.
You're welcome. Talking about teaching, you were one of the first people to actually be able to play The Sims 4 because you were invited to the Sims Creators Camp. Yes. Tell me a little bit about your experience over there.
Well, at first I was very shocked because I was just like, wow, because creators camp, I don't, oh my God. But obviously, it was amazing. I didn't know, I don't know how else to explain it. I had never been to EA's headquarters. A lot of the folks that were there had already attended previous events there. Right. But for me, it was my first time actually going to the place where they make your game and meeting the people, and even people you don't know because they're not on Twitter and stuff. I mean, I had some gurus that would come up to me. They wouldn't tell me who they are, and they're like, I'm a guru. I love your site. I read it every day. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. I can't believe this. But yeah, it was such a great experience. I had previously gone to Germany last year for Sims Camp. So I kind of already met a lot of the people, so I felt really comfortable going and, doing the whole event thing again. Right. It was really fun. We got to sit down and listen to the gurus talk to us about their favorite parts of the game, explain things to us. It was amazing watching them talk about the game. I mean, you can, when you're there and you're looking at them talk to you, it's like, they love that game. Mm-hmm. Like it's not just, thrown together and here you go. They really have invested themselves emotionally into the game.
It's a passion.
So,
for them.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I was a Sim Guru Riley. She was introducing herself on the first day, and we were all talking, and she started crying because she was like, "I'm so excited that you guys are all here," and like, you know, it was like, oh, don't cry, you know, like, oh. So, you know, it was an experience. I mean, I got to play The Sims 4. Yeah, it was really fun. It was the first time actually playing the game, but other than, you know, create a sim. So the experience was great overall. It's being able to engage like that with EA and having them listen to you. And I mean, they passed out surveys and they wanted to know what we like, what we don't like, if we would recommend this to a friend, you know, all kinds of stuff. So they really wanted to get our feedback because everybody who was attending there is a big head in the community in one way or another. So everybody from, you know, like Pinstar, you know, who does the legacy challenges, to YouTubers and stuff. So everybody has some kind of place in the community, you know, even if it's just their mouth.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, so they wanted to see how we felt. And the thing is like, those of us that attend, we're not afraid to talk and tell EA what we dislike or what we like, or, you know, we know when to praise them for something they've done, and we know when to let them know they need to improve. So that was another thing that I enjoyed very much, was being able to express to them certain things, like toddlers being one of them, flipping out of a bassinet into children. You know, we don't have toddlers. So it was, you know, the babies just turning into children didn't feel right to me.
Right.
So I expressed that. I also expressed the fact that I didn't like the new UI with all the actions on the lower left-hand corner.
Oh, you don't?
And then I had a guru come down and explain to me why they did it that way and go into detail about how much percentage of the screen is covered and why they wanted to change it from The Sims 3. And it's like as soon as you... It's not that like not as soon as you told them something they wanted to correct you or give you an excuse. It was more like they wanted to explain to you why. So when, you know, he came to me to explain to me why the action cue is on the bottom left, it made sense when he was done, because basically they wanted it to be, here's an action, it goes down below your Sims avatar, which changes their emotion, and then goes out into, you know, we're done and out. So after thinking about it a little bit, I said, you know, this actually makes sense, because I was more annoyed at the fact that I'm used to 15 years of looking in the top left.
Yeah.
That was what annoyed me the most. Now, I actually like that there's more play area and that there's nothing on the top. So, you know, it takes some getting used to. Obviously, we were only there for a couple days, so we haven't played enough to get used to some of the changes in the UI. But, you know, when I explained to them how I felt and scored it appropriately on the survey. You know, they asked 1 through 10. I mean, I gave it an 8. That's what I felt it deserved, because it was missing some features that I thought that, you know, needed to be in it to complete it. Not that it's a bad game, but it needs those basic elements. So it was
8
really
out of 10 is still very good.
Yeah, no, I know. But what the 2 points that were deducted was for the toddlers. Obviously, yesterday in the Sims 4, we got our ghosts. They've announced that we're getting pools in November.
Yeah.
And then they announced that we're getting some more careers in December.
It's insane.
So, yeah, I mean, a month later, I mean, this is all free.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked. You know, we were on a conference call with them yesterday morning, and when they announced it to us, a lot of us, there's so many people on that call, I don't even remember. But, you know, they announced to us, they told us how it's going to work. They let us ask our questions if we had anything, you know, about the ghosts and everything that were released yesterday. And, you know, the community engagement that EA is trying to take with The Sims 4 is unlike previous series. So in The Sims 3, you know, the first thing they wanted to do was run off to the gaming press, quote unquote, and, you know, just feed them with all these photos and you know, PR jarble, and then let them go at it, you know, and then that's how we would find out. Right. Well, in The Sims 4, they started right off the bat with the community.
Yeah, it's all over Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah, they've been more active on Twitter. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but like from the time they announced Sims 4, they've been actually talking on their Twitter instead of posting a generic post every day. Yeah. They reply to people. They interact. They make it feel whole again, which is great. And, you know, doing events. They do events in Europe all the time where they, you know, play the game, stuff like that. You know, we had what we're talking about now is the creator scam. I mean, they wanted to bring in the group of people that they see as, you know, the largest and the more active in the community.
Right.
And obviously they have a following. I mean, you know, free advertisement, we get perks. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wouldn't blame them. I'd do the same thing. It's cheap advertisement.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, basically it's the engagement that they had with us there at Creators Camp. They took us around, gave us a tour of the campus, told us about things. Gurus came out to talk to us. It was an experience that I've never had before. And it's like, how many people get to say that they've gone and met the people who make their favorite game?
That's insane. Yeah.
It's insane.
I would flip bananas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go there, you know, acting all starstruck. I mean, the only time I do that was with Graham, because I love Graham. It's my favorite guru.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, sometimes I'm like, hi, Graham, you know. But, you know, meeting all the other people in the community that do so much, you know, I met Pinstar. I didn't know who Pinstar was at first. I'm like, oh, okay, so somebody named Pinstar's coming. I wonder what he does. I didn't even bother to Google it. I probably would have figured it out right away.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, whatever, I'll see him when I get there. And, you know, I get out there and they handed us a pamphlet full of, you know, all the attendees of the event and where they're from.
Right.
And I got to Pinstar and I look, and underneath his name it says the Sims Legacy Challenge. And I was like, oh, what? Oh my God. I'm like, I'm going to meet the guy whose challenges I can never complete. Yes.
Right. But it's still interesting.
I can never continue. I go through a couple days of it and I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Well, in the
I've
Sims
tried
4,
so many times.
I think in the Sims 4 you'd do it and you'd get to the 10. In the Sims 3, personally speaking, I'm at Generation 3 and the game gets so filled with bugs that it's almost impossible to complete, but I'm still going to do it. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, a lot of the backup junk in the engine there that we clean out. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to meet the person who made the Legacy Challenge. I'm like, I thought that was like EA did that or something.
Oh,
you know,
yeah?
like, you know, even though I knew somebody had done it, I didn't know exactly. I never, except for like a couple times in the early days of Sims 3 when I was even like a little bit interested in the game, that's when I was doing it. So I only did it then. I haven't done it again in the Sims 3. I haven't even really played the Sims 3. I only open it if I have to do something for the website. So,
wow.
But yeah, I was so excited. I'm like, wow, Pinstar. And then there's, you know, so many other people there, fan sites from around the world, YouTubers, just everybody all together. I mean, builders, people like Ruthless and Sarah Demore that just build like crazy. And it's like I was peeking over their shoulders all the time. I'm like, what are you making? What are you making? What are you making? I'm like, I want to download. I kept pestering Ruth. I was like, what are you making? What are you making? Every 15 minutes. So yeah, I mean, the overall experience at Creators Camp was great. And it just blends right into the whole thing of EA being more active with its own community. They don't need the gaming press to get the word around. They can go and make a post themselves and get the news out.
Right.
You know, so I'm glad that they're taking the route of having more engagement, which is what Creators Camp was basically all about.
Cool. That sounded like a blast.
Yes, it was fun.
So, well, back to the Sims VIP. We discussed about basically everything that you do on there and what people can find. But do you have more plans for it? New content? Anything?
Well, we recently launched forums. So that is one of the new parts of SimsVIP, simsvip.com/forums. We wanted to create a place. I've been actually getting a lot of requests for forums for a long time. It's just that I never really had the time to do it, but lucky for me, at this point in time, I have a great team working with me on SimsVIP. So I'm able to update and do some of these extra things without all of it falling on me.
Cool.
So I'm thankful for that. So we launched that. It's doing pretty good so far. A lot of the more active blabbermouths are over there discussing. I hop in once in a while. It's funny enough, I'm not very active on my own websites.
Well, you've got so much going on in the background, you can't really focus on everything.
Yeah, I don't reply much and stuff, but I'm always around. I'm always watching. I look. I don't talk. So I'm a lurker on my own website, if that even makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, the forums were just launched, eventually I want to start doing a little more community-based content, like maybe inviting people for guest posts to do something, tips, tricks, hints, something you learned in the game, little things maybe to have the community, just the regular community involved in the website in one way or another. So I haven't really decided how I'm going to go about doing that, but eventually I will. And, obviously for now, that's really, as far as future content, that's really all I have going on that I could talk about. I mean, my brain runs 100 miles an hour, so I have so many things I want to do. Obviously, one of the more important things is catching up with everything that I've been neglecting since I moved to Florida. So, yeah, I got to finish that Into the Future guide that was released a year ago in 20 days. Yeah. So I got to finish that, which I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, when are you going to finish it? And I know, I'm sorry, but like, as we said in the beginning of the show, I'm human. I have things to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And as soon as I moved to Florida, I literally just wanted a break. I didn't want to do anything except update the news every day, which usually happens between 9 to 5, and I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, moving on its own is very time consuming. So you want to focus your energy on something that won't take that long to do, too.
Yeah. It is. And, it was my first move. I never moved before. I never moved anywhere, let alone like across 5 states.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was pretty hectic. And I I finally was in Florida, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm on the beach. It's December and it's 80 degrees. And I was just enjoying myself. I mean, I had needed a little bit of that too. It was either I had to give up something so that I can feel relaxed every day, or I was just going to take off for a week and not do anything. So, I like to compromise because I feel like at this point, SimsVIP is a responsibility for me. I mean, I have a responsibility to take care of it and continue to do what I have to and what I want to do so that I can keep it up to date. So, yeah, I mean, overall, new content. I got to get done with the old of it, too. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, it's time for the tough question time.
Uh-oh.
Well, or not. What's your favorite Sims game and your favorite Sims expansion for any game and for any expansion?
Okay. How about I'll give you this? I'm going to give you my favorite in all 3 series.
Okay.
Okay. Sims Superstar for the original Sims.
Oh.
It was so awesome.
The original Sims?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sims Superstar. Being able to see Christina Aguilera in that little booth down there when my Sim was trying to become a rock star was awesome. That was my favorite one from the Sims 1. From the Sims 2, Open for Business. That was my favorite expansion, even over Seasons, which is my Sims 3 favorite expansion. And Seasons I've always liked in Sims 2 and 3. It always completed my game. I didn't need anything else but that, and I was happy. But yeah, Open for Business is something that I also love to mess around with, being able to start your own business and make money and, promote your employees. I don't know, it was fun. I guess back then when I was, younger and I was in high school and stuff, I kind of felt like, ooh, I'm doing mom and dad's work,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like it made me feel like, ooh, like now I'm practicing for the future. But yeah, no, that's my favorite expansion. And then Sims 3 Seasons. I also liked Island Paradise, but it doesn't beat Seasons. So
right.
Yeah.
Cool. So that wasn't that tough of a question after all.
No.
So now that the game has been out for a month officially today, because we're re-recording this on the 2nd of October, what are your thoughts about The Sims 4?
All right. Well, The Sims 4 to me is the most solid base game out of all the series.
Yeah, agreed.
This game to me, when I installed it, I'm still playing just the collection parts. Like I do stuff for the website, but then I have my own like off camera, if you will, family.
Yeah.
And I've only had one baby so far, and I've been playing for a month, and I haven't even explored on my own half the game. I don't even think 3/4 of the game.
Wow.
And personally, the game to me feels stable. It feels like I know that foundation that they've laid down is going to build a good house. So that's what I feel about this game. I know that there was things missing like toddlers. Toddlers is not game breaking for me, although I got used to them in Sims 3 because we had burrito babies and I didn't like them. And then I loved the babies from Sims 2 because they had legs and stuff and toddlers. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a game-breaking feature for me, and I just knew that eventually they would put them in, so I figured, all right, for now, I'll play the game and do what I can. And this, I mean, we're a month out. I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that I always worried about was not having someone like Twalin, who mods the game, create something like Overwatch, which would clean out the junk in the game that just sits there, like in The Sims 3. I mean, you would play in the open world and everybody's stereos, TVs, car radios were all on.
Yeah.
And you don't need none of that. That causes lag. That causes a lot of problems. I don't even know if I would be able to play The Sims 3 if I didn't have mods in the game.
Right.
And I have a beast computer. So I don't know if I would be able to play it without mods. I really don't. And in The Sims 4, I've had, because I'm doing game guides, I have 42 saves right now.
Wow.
Because I'm doing different, I have Sims that are doing different things. And when I complete the guide, I need one save for each one. So one of my saves is from the first day The Sims 4 was out. So I have a collector who has 25 to 50 of every collectible.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
I made her, I wanted this for the purpose of when they fix the gallery, I can upload her and have her and bring her into my game when I need something when I'm doing other stuff. So the amount of clutter, and it takes a little longer to load that one as far as the loading screen goes. So I know that there's a lot going on because my other loading screens take like a minute. This one, I'm sorry, like a second. This one takes like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So I know that there's something heavy, but it's not impacting the rest of my game. That's the great thing. Yeah. So The Sims 4 to me is the perfect base game.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a lot of stuff that is not in there now. It's a base game. It just came out a month ago, and look what they did yesterday. They announced pools, ghosts, and careers for free.
For free, mind you.
For free. And they're going to give it to us. I mean, they gave us the ghosts. I mean, I haven't really dug deep into the ghosts, but they're so much better than The Sims 3. I mean, they have a purpose. They can do special things depending on the way they died. Yeah. They can haunt and possess items, which is something you couldn't force a sim to do. That would only happen, randomly in the game. Yeah. It just, I mean, sure, you can't have ghost babies, but that's not to say it won't change down the road. I don't know what they have in plan, but these ghosts themselves are awesome. They change color depending on their emotion. Yeah. There's so much more purpose to them. I know just by playing for the little bit of time that I played, I could tell that a lot of work went into it. So me personally, I think that a lot of the reason why we didn't get some of these things like, pools and stuff, okay, maybe there was some tech things behind it. But at the same time, I feel like they wanted to perfect it before they released it.
Yeah, which is awesome of them.
Which is awesome. Because instead of throwing it out there like the buggy crap that half of the Sims 3 content was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved the content that they were giving us from the store. A lot of it helped improve my gameplay. But 90% of the time, it was bugged. Yeah. And we had to wait a couple days or mods fixed it. Like, that was the bottom line. So I love that they're taking the time to distribute this kind of content to us in the right way. Because if they would have put these ghosts, and had them ready for release day, who knows what they would be like today? Maybe they wouldn't even work. Yeah. I don't know. So pools, we're getting those in November. They said that they had some kind of tech problem. I'm sure it's because of the animations. I mean, I don't think it had a lot to do with. It probably had something to do with digging in the ground, but at the same time, Sims have to swim in it. So I'm sure there's probably animation things they had to fix, or who knows. So. For me, The Sims 4 base game is the perfect base game to start off this series. It's bare, but when you're coming off of The Sims 3 with 11 expansion packs and 9 stuff packs or whatever we got, or I don't know, combined 11 or 12, yeah, sure, it feels bare, but the engine's good, and that's what matters in the long run.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's the best base game, and especially that we get the free stuff with it. It's just like you had it on the first day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so I had to wait a little bit. I haven't even gotten a third through my game yet. Probably not going to play with Ghosts for another month.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, but I mean, I'm happy. I mean, that's not to say that, someone shouldn't, feel upset because, something's not in their favorite game. Like, I know a lot of legacy players are upset about the family tree. Mm-hmm. And I can understand that. I mean, that's, when you play the game a certain way and something that is eliminated, there goes your gameplay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I understand that some of the things that are missing are missing, and they're hurting some of the players. But that doesn't mean that EA is trying to charge you for it later. I mean, that was the first thing that everybody we're gonna get charged for a pool. Says who? Says because you just want to assume that. You can't assume things, because then you make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
Assume.
Assume.
ASS, you and me. So yeah. Basically.
I just got it. Huh, I'm so lame.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, we've talked about the game. We've talked about you, about the Sims VIP. Now let's talk a little bit about the community itself. So I know most of the stuff happens on Twitter and on forums, but you've probably had time to know this answer to that question. My question to you is, what would you like to see more of or less of in the Sims community?
All right. Well, more of, I'd like to see people getting along. Obviously, The Sims 4 has torn the community in half. Mm-hmm. So people saying, I don't care if you don't like it, it's great. And people, I don't care if you like it, it sucks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that happened with The Sims 4, and I just wish people would get along more, because that's really one of the biggest things that holds a community together, is being able to agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to disagree with somebody, and it's another to attack them because, you don't like what they're saying. Me personally, a lot of the issue in the community is that everybody wants to just hate on one another. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be anything particular. Mm-hmm. It can be because you like the game, you're a sheep for EA, they've paid you off. I mean, I've gotten a good share of hate. And that's what happens. I mean, I run a website. That's how they know me. Like we were talking about the alter ego. Mm-hmm. That's who they know. Of course, sometimes I snap because I'm human, mm-hmm. and I'm sick and tired of people just pulling things out of their behind. Okay, that they just want to assume they know everything because this person said so.
Right.
So yeah, no, the hate in the community is a terrible thing. Mm-hmm. We need a lot less of it, because there's no reason for people to be arguing with each other and being isolated because they do or don't like the game. And that goes for both sides, because I know that some of the people, on the we love the game side, which I'm part of, I know a lot of people would turn around and tell people, screw you, you don't like the game, move on. While I do agree to an extent with that, it's like, if stop harping on it. Either continue playing what you have right now and wait for it to update, or move on. I mean, that's how I feel too, to an extent. But at the same time, like we were just saying with the family trees, when you got things like that missing, I mean, pools, I don't want to hear people talking about that's a gameplay element, because you don't need pools to play the game.
Nope.
Okay, you don't sit and play a pool all day.
No.
Okay, but people who are legacy founders and play legacy challenges, I can understand something like a family tree being gone.
Yeah. Because,
what are you supposed to do? Write it down? I mean, that was the fun part of the game, is being able to show that off. That was like a plaque, mm-hmm. Of your accomplishment in the game. So I can understand too why something like that would affect people and get them mad, because their gameplay was basically altered. Mm-hmm. So if how are they going to go on playing the new shiny thing they don't like when the old one has everything they like?
Right.
So they're kind of stuck in the middle. And the same thing with the people who do like the game. I mean, you can't sit and and call people names just because if they like the game, you have to assume that they're being paid for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been accused of getting paid, okay, to like the game.
What?
Okay, yeah, it's just a thing. I don't know. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, EA does not pay me a dime.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't get paid for anything I do. So like, no. Do not even assume that of anybody, because I mean, unless it's like, I know EA has some kind of program with like, it's called Ranku or something, where they pay some of these bigger people like PewDiePie and K-pop and stuff. I mean, I've seen that they've, put a banner in the front that says sponsored by EA Ranku.
Oh.
So I know that EA has programs and stuff like that to pay people to play the game, but that's because it's like a form of advertising for them.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not necessarily paying somebody to like and talk good about the game. Sure, it's going to sway their opinion because, they want to keep getting paid for what they're doing, but that's what happens. I mean, nowadays people make a living off of YouTube.
Yep.
So you can't put somebody down because they're trying to progress in their life. I mean, what is this? It gets to the point sometimes where my mind's boggled because I can't comprehend how people these days just are so like, if you don't hate EA, you're the enemy, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't consider you the enemy because you hate them. It's just it really is. I mean, more of love and less of hate. It gets really bad sometimes. The Sims 4 was a pretty good indicator of what groups of the community are against others. So, I mean, I'm not going to talk for anybody else, but I can personally speak for myself when I say that I have a group of people in every corner of the community that do not like me. And they don't like me. They don't like me personally because they associate me with the website, which they also hate now for some reason, but yet they visit me all the time. They don't like that I get to go to an event. They don't like that I'm I can understand being a little envious of somebody who's getting something, but at the same time, I, as well as others, work really hard to get where they are.
Yeah.
You don't gain 100 or 200 or 300 or 400, 500 YouTube subscribers overnight.
Nope.
That takes time.
Yeah.
That takes time, dedication, and people wanting to watch your stuff. Me, for example, with the website, in order for me to keep readers coming back, I have to stay on top of things, or I have to continue to bring out, original content, something that'll bring them back. I mean, they're not the same people. I'll be surprised if the same people from 2011 when I started SimsVIP are still here today. Thank you. That'd be awesome. But I don't think so, because they might have gotten, turned off. I don't know what it is. It's just something about, those of us in the community that are able to interact on a more personal level with EA, be it events or whatever. It seems like we're, targeted as being some shills and, monkeys for EA, which is pretty sad. I mean, I personally don't care. I'm not going to sit here and let the internet ruin my day.
Yeah, true.
But the bottom line is, it's almost like sometimes you got to open your mouth, because it's like, if you don't like me so much, why are you coming to my website? Why are you looking at what I'm doing? Why are you so interested in what I do? If you don't like me, go.
Yeah.
Just stay off. You don't need to come here and bash me and put me down because it makes you feel better. Seriously, that's what makes you feel better. It worries me sometimes about a lot of the people who take this stuff to heart because they feel like, oh, that's it, and it discourages people. And it's like, forget them. You brush your shoulder off and move on, basically. I mean, if they're talking about you, you're important.
Yep.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
When they don't talk to you, then you're nothing. They don't talk about you, then you're not irrelevant. But if they're talking, believe me, there's a reason they're talking. It's because you're important. So that's how I look at it. I mean, the community itself is great. I love everybody I've ever met. I love my Twitter family, because Twitter is like the place I'm at all the time. I love Twitter. But yeah, basically less hate and more love. That's it. And maybe a little more understanding from people. I'd like them to understand that people like me are in a position where I have a responsibility to serve the readers that are coming to my website, as well as be respectful to those who are above me at EA, and say, here, we'll give you this if you push this out here. Here's a exclusive thing. We'll invite you here. Advertise it for us.
Right.
That's how it works. I mean, I didn't get that on day one. That came, with time. It took 2.5 years for EA to invite me to an event or even acknowledge I exist, even though they knew I existed.
Yeah.
Okay. But, that's just the thing. That's the community is just torn. And it would be nicer if there was less of this bashing and hating. But, it probably won't change, but who cares? Whatever. I'm probably talking to myself when I say this stuff, but whatever.
No, I totally agree with you. Totally agree. 100%. And, you were talking about the people who are envious, but there are people over there, out there that basically would love to do what you do because it would become a passion of theirs too. So what tips or advice would you give to someone who's starting their own Sims community website?
Wow. First of all, good luck. The advice I would give to somebody who wants to start a community website would be make sure you know what you're getting into. If you are dedicated and you're, hard-headed about being able to do something that would help the community and we would benefit from it, keep going with it. Don't stop because you hit like a roadblock. Because believe me, there's a lot of roadblocks, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with anybody in the community. It has to do with you. You might find that you took on a project you really think is a little too hard now that you think about it. Things like that. So my focus would be my advice would be to focus and brainstorm on what the result is you're looking for. Because if you're only trying to go in because you want to, I have so many views and I want to be, famous in the community and, I want to do this and that, you're not going to get pretty far. Because eventually your true colors end up showing when you're, all you talk about is your stats all day or something like that. So if there's one thing I can advise is go in it because you like to do it, not because you want to be big. Because, everybody started from somewhere down at the bottom, and SimsVIP is also a part of that. I mean, I started in March of 2011 with 2,000 readers for the entire month of March in 2011. And then now, since I went through all this stuff last night, September, today, meaning like 2014, I closed out the month with 2.3 million visits.
Wow. Congratulations. Okay. Wow.
Thank you.
That's it
took a lot of work to get to this point.
Yeah,
it was
3
gradual.
years later. Yeah.
Yeah, it was gradual, thank goodness, because I don't think I could handle like that, overnight fame thing. No, but honestly, it's like you have to get from point A to point B, and there's a lot of trouble in between. You're never just going to jump to the best, to the, being the top if your focus is only that. I mean, my focus was never, I want to become the best and biggest. That was never my focus, and it still isn't my focus. There's nothing like that I do. I do what I do because I like to do it. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure people can tell by some of the, the time I spend. I mean, I'm up till 5 a.m. sometimes putting out guides for the players.
Holy cow.
I know that there's people that understand that, for me to be doing this, I have to like it.
Yeah.
You can't do something you don't like to do. Eventually you give up on it, which is why if you don't like to do it, don't go in it, just because of numbers. Go in it because you like to do it. And no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody tries to do to bring you down, just ignore it all. Put like the blinders on your eyes and just walk straight. That's it. That's the advice I would give.
Hard work, dedication.
Yes. That's the recipe for success.
Yeah. Yeah, in every aspect of life.
In every aspect of life. Yeah. That's it.
We were talking about the free DLC before. We were saying how ghosts are really, really cool, but there's a lot of things going on with that free DLC. What do you think about it? Were you super excited when they announced it? Because you were in that call, you were saying, right?
Yeah. Well, I was on the call, and obviously I muted my phone when they announced it because I was screaming by myself. I love ghosts. I've always loved ghosts. And they've been one of the only supernaturals ever in the game that I absolutely always wanted to have. And since we never got a comment on it, and when I was at Creators Camp, they just basically said no ghosts at this time. I mean, they didn't even say at this time. They just said no ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if that meant ever or not now, whatever. But when I heard that, I flew back in my chair, and I literally wanted to cry.
Aww.
And I was like, I am so excited that I'm getting my little ghosties back. And from what I've played, the little bit I've played, oh, I love them. They're so colorful and so cute and see-through, and yay. Yeah, so I was really happy with that announcement with the ghosts. They put in a new gnome, like a ghostly gnome or something like that. They put some new eye colors for those of us who wanted,
purple.
Some extra variety without using custom content, which I'm guilty. I'm like knee deep in custom content. I can't. I love it. And then they added things like Bitey Bug, which I was like, yay! Where we can, basically find all the little, everything's in the world that we can't get in normal buy mode. Oh. So the update yesterday was pretty cool, and I'm actually very excited with where they're going with this. I mean, I know at some point we're going to have little gameplay packs that we're going to download like SimCity, and they're going to charge us for it, which is fine. I mean, we can't expect them to, grow the base game into 11 expansions for free. No. So, their business, that's what they have to make money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know at some point we're probably going to see something like, new downloadable content on Origin, but for now what they're doing, I mean, careers, pools, we got ghosts. I mean, this is cool. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, pools, why would they release it in November? It's cold.
Yeah, I know.
But then I'm like, wait, no, it's not cold in other parts of the world.
Yeah, not cold,
and it's
in,
not
Florida.
Cold in Florida.
No.
No, I mean, I was just, my mind went to the wrong thing instead of being like, oh my God, pools.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think what they're doing with this is instead of them rushing to get some of the stuff out, like I said earlier, they wanted to perfect it so that when it gets to the game, it works. Mm-hmm. I mean, that patch we got yesterday was huge.
I know.
I don't know if anybody, I mean, I opened it and I was like, oh my God, I felt like I was staring at the Sears Tower, from the bottom and trying to read the top. So yeah, definitely something that I know was something they truly wanted to do. A lot of people, right off the bat, I mean, they're doing this to butter us up for the rumored premium membership.
Come on.
I mean, come on.
There's always going to be someone who finds a reason for whatever happened. So
I mean, there was somebody who on one of my YouTube videos in the comments, they said it's not free if I have to pay for the game.
It's free downloadable content, not a free base game.
I don't know. I bang my head, and then I mean, and then even now, I don't think a lot of people who were naysayers expected an update like this so soon. Especially for free, and now they're trying to. Oh, it should have been in the base game. Why, if they had it now, why not a month ago? Well, because the way I look at it, they wanted to make sure it's perfect. I mean, I don't know. It's like people don't stop to think for a minute that they had a deadline. So yeah, don't blame the gurus for that in the studio. Blame EA for that because they put down when, where, budgets, everything. They have people that's their job is to distribute the money accordingly. And if they didn't have enough time to finish all this stuff before the game was out, then that was it. But we got it now.
Yep.
So, and we got more coming up. So I'm excited to see where they go with this. I really am. This is the beginning of building this base game that I honestly think is so solid. So kudos to the Sims team. I really appreciate them giving me my ghosties.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, I think that's all the questions that I had for you, but we had some questions from the Twitter, some Twitter people, some Facebook peoples. So here goes. We have Christina, aka Imagining Mystic. She had some questions that we already answered, but one of them was, what is your favorite memories in the Sims game series?
Well, going back to my favorite expansion in the original Sims game, the Sims Superstar. The Sims Superstar.
Yes, Sims Superstar.
Yes, shirt. So yeah, the Sims Superstar was probably the biggest memory I've ever had because my Sim was trying to learn the "Hey, Monaski J," He was trying to learn that song, and she was really bad at it. And Christina Aguilera came into the studio and critiqued her work.
No way.
And it was not good. So she was like, "Oh, my sim was like sad, like womp womp womp." womp. Yeah, and that's got to be the best experience I've ever had, because it truly made me feel like, oh my God, what is this game? This is so perfect. Like, she went there and she didn't succeed. They didn't make it easy for you. You know, okay, you sang, okay, go home, you're good. I had to try like 10 times to get her to like sell a record, you know? And it was just like, it was really, really fun. Superstar is a game that really, I don't know how else to explain it. I just love it. Mm-hmm. And all my memories came out of that, being able to be, you know, because back then I was young too, and, you know, I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if I was like Christina Aguilera. I could be like, hit me, baby. Oh no,
that's Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. Hit me, baby, one more time, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, I wish I could be like that. I'm gonna make my sim like that. So I kind of, you know, I always connect to that, because it's how I felt at that time in my life. I was like, oh, I want to be a superstar. Superstar. You know, what girl or boy hasn't dreamed of being famous, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's my favorite memory, is being critiqued by a fake Christina Aguilera.
That's a pretty cool one. We had a question from, I'm probably gonna butcher her name, but it's Elisa Astrid or Elisa Astrid. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. She asked, why did you choose the name SimsVIP? But we talked a little bit about it, didn't we?
Yeah, I chose it basically because I wanted something short, sweet, and to the point, and I was basically sitting around and something popped up and I was like, VIP, that's it, Sims VIP. So to me, it felt like this was the VIP for Sims. You know, I actually have a tagline for the website. It's where every Sim is a VIP.
Aww.
I have that on my business cards for the site. I don't know,
really?
It just came to me one
night.
That's
cool.
Like, yay! So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of this and that. It wasn't anything that was really significant to me or anything.
The next question comes from Josh Burns on Twitter. He asked, what is the best feature and the worst in The Sims 4? And what do you think people are missing most apart from MOO? So move objects on. All
right. Well, for me, the best part of The Sims 4 is that the foundation of the game is solid. Mm-hmm. That to me is very important, because I don't care if there's, you know, ghosts or stuff like that, but eventually when there's, you know, expansions added and more content, I want to know that this game is not going to cripple and fall. Mm-hmm. Kind of like The Sims 3 did, which was pretty bad, especially after like 12 or 11 expansions. The game was unplayable for many people.
Yeah.
So the best part, in my opinion, is the foundation that they've laid in order to continue building on it. So that's for sure. Now, something that what was the other one he said? The worst. Okay. Yeah. The worst. I wouldn't necessarily say that there's a worst part of it. There are little things that bother me in the game, kind of like, I don't know, like they fixed the plumb bob thing where it turns off with the headline effects cheat, but it also turns off the description. So if you want to click a sim, their name won't appear anymore in the little box. Or if you scroll your mouse over like a plant, it won't be there because you have it off. Right. So I mean, you know, there's little things, little itty bitty things in the game that really irritate me, especially when you have to like leave your lot to go travel, and then testing cheats to reset. So like if you set your Sims needs not to decay, they're going to decay. Mm-hmm. The kind of those things are a little irritating for me in the game, but those are very minor things. So I don't really have anything that I would say is the worst thing. Mm-hmm. You know, other than toddlers, which is basically like a chunk of game that is missing. It's not that makes it worse. Mm-hmm. For me. So yeah, it would be that. And then what are people missing other than move objects on? I don't know. Buy debug was one of them, but we got that yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. You see, it really depends. There's not a way for me to necessarily say exactly what I think is missing. I guess it really depends on your play style. I'm a person who loves to play with ghosts and toddlers, but even though I didn't get them, I still enjoy the game. So I don't know. It really depends on your style of play. You know, for example, there's machinima creators. That's all they do is record and edit videos of the game. They don't play. Well, I mean, some of them do, but there's people I know who do machinima that don't play at all. Mm-hmm. That their sole purpose is, you know, creating videos. There's custom content creators that just create stuff for the game. There's modders who don't even play the game and just fix it.
Right.
It depends on your play style and what you're missing personally. I can't say that there's anything missing. My only suggestion would be to find out for yourself if there's something missing. Mm-hmm. If there's something that you cannot live without, then it's not for you. But if you don't know what's missing and you haven't tried it yet, then, you know, I mean, I think Origin still has like this guarantee. If you want to try the game for 24 hours or something, you can do that and see if you like it. I mean, I'm sure you can get through looking at some of the stuff. I mean, it really depends on the play style of every person. So I can't really say that there's anything missing other than little things that irritate me. So that's the best I could do.
Cool. I didn't know they had that 24-hour stuff.
Yeah, they do. It's the Origin guarantee or something. They have it for a lot of games.
Oh.
And I mean, obviously they do it for a lot of their new games because it's like their confidence boost, I guess. Like, you know, they're backing their own game. But I don't know how it works. I really wish I can tell you about it, but I don't know how it works and everything. So it would probably be a good idea to check Origin for more info on that.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I bet that a lot of people didn't know that, or because I know a lot of people did not buy The Sims 4 because they weren't sure if they'd like it or not. So I think that'd be a good option for them to hop on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I would. I mean, even if I don't know, I'm sure everybody who was on the fence played the cast demo, but if they haven't, the Create a Sim demo is also available. I know that's not game play, but at least you can get an idea because for me, Create a Sim is, aside from a solid base game, Create a Sim is probably one of the most improved features out of everything. Uh-huh. And if you like making Sims and watching your generations grow and genetics and all that, this game is definitely one you're going to want and like. So yeah, Create a Sim is an improvement. So play Create a Sim. I don't know. Check out Origin and see if you want to play that 24-hour trial and get the game. I'm pretty sure that somebody who plays for a good 6 hours or 7 hours will get an idea of what the game is like be able to make a decision.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We had one last question from Rebecca on Twitter. She says, what expansion pack do you want for The Sims 4?
That's a tough one. That should have been your tough question. Well, I love seasons and everything, but I know we're not getting it, so I'm not even going to say it. But the first expansion I want to see is like open for business type. I want to see something where we can, have our own restaurants, do our own thing, with the rabbit holes now the way that they are. Mm-hmm. Like you can have a bar, which is something we didn't even get to like late night in The Sims 3. Like you have bars now. Yeah. Maybe now we can have our own businesses, stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe be able to build on top and live in your own building or something like that. I don't know.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Oh my God, I mean, I'd like to see something like that, but then at the same time, I'm like interested to see if they come up with anything new. So I hope we get some new things and not everything rehashed, because I feel like Sims 4 like literally brought life back to The Sims, because The Sims 3 to me was I haven't actually played the game myself since Ambitions.
Oh yeah.
I've bought every single expansion, but I play it for 20 minutes and then I'm like, turn off.
Oh yeah? Wow.
Yeah, I don't play it. So I'm hoping they do some new things and they don't just rehash old expansions. But at the same time, I do want to see some of those bigger expansions that we want. We didn't get open for business in Sims 3. We kind of got something similar to it from the store, but it's not the same. Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to see that whole like the Sims 2 way, where you're hiring employees and you can promote them and you can pay them different salaries and choose their outfits, stuff like that. And I'm pretty confident that the Sims team has a good idea of, how to make something like that come back to life. So I'm hoping for an open for business. That would
be great. That whole have your business downstairs and live upstairs kind of deal. That would be so cool to create.
I know.
Imagine
I would love that.
Imagine browsing the gallery for, you know, a business type of lot like that. That'd be, I'm sure a lot of people would come up with so many
many great things. Yeah. I know. I mean, that would be perfect for me because I could be like, oh, it's 3 a.m. in my game. Okay, time to work, Sim.
Yeah, I know.
Like the way I do, I sleep for I nap sometimes, like from like 10 to 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I get up and I'm like, okay, you know. So like I kind of want that whole like living and working where living where you work.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That's awesome. Well, that's it for the questions, and that's it for the interview.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for sitting down and answering all these questions. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people could have more questions for you. So if they do, where could they reach you at for that?
The best place to reach me is going to be on Twitter if you have like a direct question you want to ask me. Other than that, we have a Facebook page. I have an email address. I have SimsVIP. We have SimsVIP forums. You can basically find me anything related to SimsVIP. Somewhere or somehow I'll see what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, if you want to reach me directly, email's good. Twitter's good. I love Twitter. Join Twitter. I should be a paid spokesperson. I love Twitter.
Yeah,
Pay
I know.
me. I promote Twitter. Come join us on Twitter. It's the best.
Yep, definitely. I agree with that too. A lot of a big chunk of the Sims community is on Twitter, so why not join the party?
Yeah.
So thanks a lot again, Alexis, for sitting down and answering all these questions. That was super entertaining, and you're such a great person. It's fun to talk to you.
Aw, thank you so much, Val. It was nice to sit down with somebody in the community and actually talk about it and ask questions. I think I had mentioned this before we started the interview, but I don't usually give interviews, so I hope that this is something that everybody likes.
Yeah, well,
but I really thank you for having me. I had a blast.
Well, thank you for making it exclusive.
Woohoo! Exclusivity. Maybe you're paying me.
Shh! You shouldn't say.
Where's the money back? Okay, guys, it was so much fun.
Well, thanks a lot again. And to the listeners out there, if you're a streamer, a simmer that makes anything, videos, blogs, content, anything, and on a regular basis, okay, not just a video 3 months ago and then that's it, you can contact me to be on the show, or you can also comment below and let me know which of your favorite Sims community person you'd like to see on the show. So thanks a lot, Alexis. And
thank you.
You're welcome. And we'll see you next time. See you guys.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
What? What the fridge?